Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of OneMicNite Talk. We're so glad to have you back. Thank you for everybody who's returning and all the new listeners out there. We appreciate you. My name is Marcos Luis. I'm an actor, filmmaker, and host of OneMicNite Talk. And I'm here with my two lovely co-hosts.
Yes, I'm Ashley. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I'm Liz Menezes. Opinionated and ready.
She's still opinionated, everybody.
I'm still opinionated and ready, damn it. Still.
All right, guys. How what's going on, you guys? How was the weekend?
Oh my gosh.
Oh geez.
Yeah. That's what I say too.
Like, I was looking at I have this thing, right, where I'm relaxing. I look at flights, I look at hotels. And I haven't done this in about.
Wait a minute, that's a date? That's a ritual for you?
It's a ritual.
Really?
Yeah, it's a ritual for me. Like that's how I whenever I need to daydream or decompress or just relax, or even before I go to bed, I always look at hotels and flights. And it'd be random places. I'm like, oh, how much would it cost to go to Croatia? Let me go on Hopper. I do that all the time.
Is this your virtual vision board?
Yeah, it's my vision board. Oh, it's okay. So I got a vision board for the trips I'm going to go to. This is just for me to relax. This is how I relax.
Really?
This is interesting. Yeah. Let's talk about this. So it's a relax.
This is interesting.
Right.
It would give me anxiety because I would want to be wherever it is that I'm looking.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
It's so relaxing because I love hotels.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so weird because I've never stayed in Airbnb. I've always stayed in hotels.
Me neither. I've never stayed in.
And so I've always I love booking.com because one thing about booking.com, you get a lot of they have good deals, but they have a lot of pictures. You can look at the hotel. They be having 85 pictures. And I'd be like, zoom, 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 zoom.
This is not a paid endorsement for booking.com.
No, it's not paid.
Allegedly,
they should sponsor me because pretty much all the hotels I stayed in is through Booking. So y'all should sponsor me at least once.
But wait. What about when you see these pictures and when you get to these places, they look nothing like this? Nothing.
My place look exactly like. Booking.com is really good. And you get exactly what you paid for. And even better. I stayed in one place in Cambodia.
You went to Cambodia?
Yeah, it was hot.
Ooh.
Really?
Cambodia is a place I've always wanted to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And so how I went was one of my friends, shout out to Jay. He asked me to go on his birthday trip. And we've always been track buddies over years in Baltimore. And we went and we did Cambodia. We did Bangkok. It was Cambodia is really I want to go to Cambodia again in the fall. Cambodia is really a beautiful place.
Really? A return visit to Cambodia?
Yeah.
No, I'm just seriously that. It's really shocking to me. And nothing against Cambodia. It just never has been on my list of places to go.
Oh my! You would like it.
Really?
You would really.
What did you like about it? What did you like about it?
Oh my gosh! I liked the people there. I like that. Don't get me wrong, the flight's long, which I don't mind long flights, but I like that it was just the nature of it all and the bougie part I like because you can live so good in luxury and it's not that expensive in Southeast Asia.
Mm.
So I really love that. It was just really, really nice. And we volunteered to teach kids English. We were there for a day doing that. It was just, the people there were just really nice. I just loved it. We stayed on the countryside. It was just really lovely. I just loved it. It was just really nice. I don't know. It's just the energy of Cambodia was just really cool. Mm-hmm. I just loved the energy. The food.
So people were very receptive. Were they receptive because you were American?
Oh, yeah. Very receptive. Yeah. It wasn't weird. It wasn't gawking at you. Mm-hmm. They were just they was really receptive. It was really, like I said, I've never been to China and I always hear that, when you go there, they start, but here, no, they weren't like that at all. The only thing it was they probably don't never see like Black people, like, oh, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I was gonna say, were there Africans there? Did you see people of dark color?
No,
Indian,
I maybe saw
Bengali.
I saw like 2 random like Black people, and that was it. I didn't see a lot of like Africans or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Angkor Walks is what they're really known for, their ancient temple, and that was like magical. That was gorgeous.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
That
was like, really nice.
You talking about this makes me think of which brings me to the question I'm going to ask. Thinking about these places, and not that I'm saying that it's like that, but I've always wanted to do humanitarian work. Like you said, you were teaching children out there, and that was gratifying.
Well, one day we did it by surprise. Like our guide opened up a school. And so it was like, would you come? And I was like, well, if we're going to come, let's buy like books and food and drinks. Because everything was cheap there. Like even getting fish, like I had pineapple chicken. Like it cost like $2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. It was crazy. Like, oh, you'll get a fish on a big elephant ear, like leaf.
Right.
$1. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was say, don't get me wrong. There are things that you can't be naive about, because even though things are so cheap, the way how some people live, you have to think about that context. You know what I mean? Like they still have outhouses, you know.
Right.
So
right. You mean like in terms of humility and being, humble about what you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like my first day, I was a little bit kind of simple. I wore like my Kohan leather sneakers hanging out. And I didn't really notice. I know, right? And I didn't really notice that. I was just like, till I came home, I was just like, did I just wear some leather sneakers with people who are like, have less there? It was kind of like an American thing that like I didn't even realize. But that's why I love to travel, because you really get to realize how you can be so woke, but sometimes you ain't that woke when it comes to a different country, because you just move and groove on how you do things.
Well, think about it though. We're in a country, for better or for worse, that we can get whatever we want if we work for it. It's accessible. Is what I'm trying to say.
Definitely accessible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
People from other countries.
And in fact, more desirable, because that's what people here want. People want to, buy its capitalistic society. You want to buy the Louis Vuitton. You want to buy those type of things. Everybody has the best Nikes. You have to have this. We're a flashy society. That's what this country is built on.
We are. And we have like hundreds of the same thing.
Yeah. So even with having that knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. Like even me having that knowledge, like I don't do Nike, I don't do all that. But me not thinking that I'm wearing Kohans that are like $200 something and leather sneakers, and I'm out in the street. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like I can be looked upon as like that's ignorant.
Yeah, of course. Know what I mean? Of course.
Well,
Liz, what was it like for you in Brazil? Because I know you were in Brazil. Did you get a chance to experience the culture in Brazil? I know you were there working. Liz.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
you. I thought you were asking Ashley.
No. You were in Brazil, right?
Oh, I was like, wait.
No.
Me. Well, you know what? I got to know both sides while being there. Mm-hmm. The poor were very, very poor, extremely poor, but so welcoming and so humble. Mm-hmm. And whatever they had, they would offer you, in the most humblest of ways. And that to me, like even the food tasted better from someone that didn't have what the other side had. And, they have the favelas where, favelas are like, it takes like a whole like side of
mountainside.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the largest favela in the world, and it's extremely dangerous. And it's incredible to see how still these people are resilient and just make what they can out of what they have. Like you see the houses stacked one on top of the other, literally, that the one person can jump into another person's house, like literally. You clothes hangers, people getting like you can literally see people like on a string, getting their groceries or getting whatever. And it's the simplest way of living. Yet to me, these people were happier than those that I met that were more in a bougie area.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your concerns are completely different when you're living like that. They don't have
you're living.
You're living.
You're worried about
right.
living. Yeah.
You're living. You're living.
You're not worried about what am I wearing, what brand am I wearing, what friends am I hanging out with. You're not worried about that. You worry about living and doing the best that I can do to see if I can get out of this situation.
Yeah.
But not this is what it is. And some of those places, actually, I walked into some of the houses, right? And some of them look amazing. They look amazing. It's so clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What little they had, like I would say, here we have nice curtains and stuff like that. They would just have maybe like a towel or something like that.
But it's probably not a big difference to them because it's just like, think about it. If you don't know better, you don't think you can have better. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't.
Or almost knowing that they can't go anywhere because, even when in my travels in Cuba, you go there and you talk to mi tierra bella. You go there, you talk to, the people, they know they can't get out. They know what it costs to, get to buy a visa, which is more than 2 years of their salary. They know they're not going anywhere. So you have to become complacent. You have to be okay with where you are. Yes, you're frustrated. Yes, you're mad, but you make the best with what you have.
Well,
you're not going anywhere.
Do you think that you can live, knowing that you live here, you've experienced this society? Do you think that if you would have been born in a place, let's say like Cuba, and all the restrictions and all the you can't eat this because the government, like just the restrictions of it.
Right.
Do you think that you would have just said, this is what it is, or you would have tried to get out of them no matter what? Because as you said, it takes 2 years' salary to get out of there.
Right. I think it's a little bit of both because I think, traditionally, you're not going anywhere. You adhere to the rules of the government because that's what's put in front of you. But now with modernization and technology, people have cell phones. Some people have cell phones. They're on the internet. They see that there's a bigger world out there and the possibility of getting out. Some of their family members have gotten out. Some of their family members are in Florida. So they're sending money back. It's the same thing in DR. And a lot of the Caribbean countries that we know of, and maybe Brazil and across the world now, you know that there's better. But I think a lot of here we go. Let's get into it. Here we go. A lot of the terrorist actions that happen coming, from the Middle East and wherever they're coming from are from the people who are frustrated because they know that they have no other way out.
Yeah.
And that's where all this terrorist activity is coming from. They're hating the US because they see that we are a capitalistic society. Their societies are not that. They want better for themselves, but know that they have no possibility. They're not going to school. They're not getting out of the country. You're restricted.
But what do you say to those people that, let's say, come into the country illegally, but then decide to come into the country and commit crimes? And I'm not saying they all do this because that's not put an umbrella over everyone.
Right.
But those that do come into the country because they want an opportunity, but once they get here, they don't want to do what it takes to get those opportunities or whatever it is, and they end up either killing or stealing or whatever it is. That's why some Americans in our country are saying we don't want anyone from anywhere else.
Right, but that's an individual mentality because we have people in our own country who do the same thing. Whether they come from somewhere else or not.
Where does that concept come from? Where it's like, because it's okay. Let's break it down to this, right? Like, where does that concept come from? Like, the people who come here illegally, like they're causing crime. Like, like it's like, where does that come from? Because I just feel like, I really feel like they should do a statistics about that because what I see is like, I've been ordering Uber Eats, right? And Grubhub. A good minute. I see nothing, and I always talk to them like, "Hey, how are you?" And I hear their accent. I'm like, "Oh, where are you from?" I just want them to feel, like,
okay,
don't give me my stuff and go away.
And go away.
I always make a little bit of small talk, and I noticed like half of them, well, not even half, all of them are like, "I'm from here. I'm from here." They're the ones, the immigrants that are coming here. They're doing the jobs.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is
We
like,
don't
Right.
wanna do
That we don't want
right.
to do.
yeah, and I just feel like for people to say the ones who do the crime, right? That's what they're trying to put in our heads as Americans, right? I
Right,
just
right.
want to like, where is that statistic at? Where does that come from?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I really
And
don't.
probably the ones who
think-
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the ones who
No,
are
yeah.
doing those things, who are committing the crimes, who are from other countries, are doing it because they can't get papers to work because they want to work
Right.
once they get here. That's probably
But
it.
this is like, are they the ones really doing a crime? Because I just feel like, I don't know. I just think some things is like America's just trying to make us, because think about it, right? America, we don't speak any other languages and we're such a diverse melting pot, right?
Right.
And then it's like, I just think we have something against immigrants where we're like, we just wanted to feel like, you know, if you're not American, you're not the best. You're not, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what I think sometimes. I think sometimes things just sound like, I don't believe.
Which is
you
stupid
know.
because we're all immigrants anyway. You know, you trace your
I mean,
history back a couple
definitely.
generations. Everybody here is an immigrant.
I mean, think about it
Oh,
though.
definitely.
This is not really, if you think about it, our land. The land was taken
Right.
from Indians.
Right.
Right. No, definitely.
So
We'll call them Native Americans for political correct. We don't want anybody sliding up in the DMs talking about some
I was
stuff.
some Indian. No Native American.
Oh, God.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, Liz. You know, this land was, inhabited before Christopher Columbus came and before, Ponce de Leon came and all those people.
He said he came nowhere even near here.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
He didn't.
I was, it's so funny. Who was his PR manager?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who was his like? Look, we didn't make you nowhere near here. Let's just go ahead and say you. Yo, that's a good PR manager.
It pisses me off because he never really landed here.
Nowhere near.
Nowhere near.
Right.
So it's like, how are you claiming something that you didn't even land on?
Right.
That's a good PR.
Well, by design, the rules of this country, the laws of this country were for the people who settled it, and we know who they are. We're not going to,
allegedly.
Right? We know who they are.
I feel like Wendy Williams.
Allegedly, right? And so, by design, everybody else has to adhere to the rules, and we've been struggling to get our foot in.
Yeah,
to get a seat at the table.
But with saying that, what I was saying before was, it made me realize when something previously just happened, I was just like, I'm ready to take a break. I need like a mental break.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I look on like I said, boogie.com, come sponsor me. Y'all know. Because that's where I go all the time.
People en español.
Yeah.
Sponsor me.
Yeah. See that?
Yeah. So I was like, I want to go. The place that I love the most is Mexico. That always makes me
Really?
Oh yeah, Mexico, especially Tulum, it always makes me feel rejuvenated. I always feel happy. And plus Tulum is like a place where it's water. All you can do is swim. It's like, you know what I mean? I love the cenotes. So I was just like thinking to myself of like, when is it time to take a break?
Right.
When do you need to be like?
When do you need to take a break?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Let's go into that.
Yeah. When do you need to take a break?
I was just going to ask you that.
I mean, I think it comes from, for me personally, I'm a creature of habit. So I kind of do the same things in the same way every day. I eat the same food. I wear the same color clothes. I threw on a little something different today just for you guys. But you know what I mean? Like a creature of habit. And then all of a sudden you just get to a point where you're bored. You need to break away. You need to do something fresh. You need to relax your mind. You need to, not have to think about so much. Maybe I want to go somewhere and read, or maybe I want to, just have quiet time away from even my home, which is my solace.
Yeah.
But you need a break from your daily routine.
Right.
With that.
And I think that's periodically, you need to refresh yourself and refresh your mind. So yeah,
I've been feeling that way. I've been feeling that I need to fly, take a plane, be on a plane and fly, go somewhere, anywhere.
Most of us haven't even been done that since the pandemic happened. I know I
haven't done that since 2000. Oh my God, since 2011.
Right.
Oh,
exactly. Yeah.
I could never.
Right.
Oh, girl, I would die. I haven't taken a flight since October of last year.
Right. And so you're one of the few people, well, not few, but you're one of the people who traveled during the pandemic.
Oh,
that was still in the in the middle of the pandemic, the tail end of it. Yeah.
I was too paranoid.
And that's when flights and hotels were I'm gonna be honest. I was very shocked. I was very cautious during the pandemic. And I was in a role, I was thriving in the pandemic. I was writing, I had a structure, right? And I was sleeping well. I was everything's great. But what I didn't know when the pandemic, I went away to Mexico for 9 days. And it was $290 to be away at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. If I knew what I knew now, I would have just went away for the whole summer in Mexico.
Right.
Wow.
Now, in retrospect, I'm sure a lot of people would.
Because even when I was gone for 9 days, I was like, why are you only gone for 9 days?
Right.
And you went alone? You were just out there alone?
Oh, girl, yes. I just went alone.
Really?
I do a lot of solo traveling. I don't wait on nobody.
Nice.
Right. I would imagine this, and we've talked about this before, Ashley. If during the pandemic, if you had, the financial backing to do it, why wouldn't you go away? If you weren't afraid of, adhering to all the protocols that the businesses had, that's the best time to go. You got the cheap flights.
And the protocols
you got
wasn't
the cheap
that
hotels.
hard with the pandemic.
Yeah.
All you had to do was make sure you had a test 72 hours before. I did a private doctor because that's when they didn't have, the COVID test on the street all the time. So I did a private doctor and he just did the time of giving me some extra room.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. It was just easy peasy. And I mean, who wasn't really making bank during the pandemic?
Right.
I think everybody was getting $7,000.
That's true. Yeah,
I think Marcos got even more.
Wrong.
You know what I mean? So it's cool. It was easy. But what I'm saying is I didn't stay away. I did 2 trips, but at the end of the day, if I was really thinking about oh, maybe I should go, should have, went to a whole different, stayed in Mexico for at least a month.
Yeah,
that's true. You guys write in the comments too. Let us know. Did you guys go away? Were you afraid to travel during the pandemic?
What did you limit yourself from doing during the pandemic? What do you still limit yourself now from doing because of it? Because now people have a certain mindset though, if you think about it. They're carrying over what was going on in the pandemic to now, where they're afraid to touch anyone. They're afraid
people
to
are stressed the F out.
But that's why we need a sabbatical.
Exactly. That's why we need a break.
That PTSD is kicking in. And then also you're trying to the same life you had before the pandemic. And it's honey, 3 years gone.
Listen, let me tell you, back to what we were doing this weekend. I went out last night for the first time, right? So I had a rehearsal for the show, for my upcoming show. So we went to a bar because the play takes place in a bar. So we were trying to do the whole actor thing. Of course we had a beer, but
of course we had a beer.
We had a couple of drinks. We had a shot of beer, but we had, to get in the environment. We went to a bar, but part of me was nervous because nobody was checking ID. Nobody was checking, the test at the door.
That's over.
Nobody had masks. Yeah, that whole thing is over, but I haven't been out, right? So nobody, so we were all sitting in close proximity to each other too. So, in your mind, you're thinking, I don't have a mask on. I don't, I'm sitting right next to somebody and I don't know if they're, so all these things were going in my mind. And then I finally had to let it go. You have to let it go.
Oh, wow.
That's the PTSD that's happening to people right now.
Yep. It happens to me.
It's real.
I get it.
You know real. What? That's not happening to me. What's happening to me is I feel am I catching up with my goals, or some of the goals I don't want anymore? I'm in between. I'm in that realm of thinking. I don't care about.
Yeah.
Like I remember thinking like, it doesn't bother me but the mask or none of that, right?
Mhm.
Like that doesn't bother me. What bothered me is that the goals I had pre-pandemic, like March 13th, 2020. I remember it like to this day.
Mhm.
Like when your goals just stopped, where it's like you couldn't pursue things anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so
It's almost like, yeah.
yeah, so it
Full
makes me
turkey.
think like, am I behind in my goals? Or do some goals I need to let go? Or am I holding on to goals that like I used to love, but maybe I don't want it anymore? I'm wondering like, who am I? Who have I become after 3 years? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
that I wanted to do in 2020, and I'm noticing there's a lot of goals that I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Right. Well, we've talked about this, Liz. We've talked about this, and we've talked about this. Your
Yeah.
goals change, you know, not only daily, but they change
Minute by
in the
minute.
long scope. Yeah, minute by minute, they change in the long scope.
Yeah.
You know, because every day we're learning more about ourselves, and we have to be able to switch, you know, where we're going. It's still part of who we are. But
Yeah.
like we talked about before, my goal, I never thought I would be hosting a podcast. Ashley, you never thought you'd be hosting a podcast.
No.
Liz, you never thought you'd be but during the pandemic, things turned virtual.
Right.
And here we are.
Yeah.
We have this.
Right.
So true.
You know, it
But
doesn't
you know
mean
what?
it doesn't mean that Liz is not still singing and songwriting and you know, pursuing music. And Ashley, you're not screenwriting. Maybe you don't want to be on a TV show, or maybe you're not doing you know, whatever. It just changes slightly. I'm still acting.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying, like the pandemic makes you think, it's that subconscious makes you think like, are you behind?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it'd be like, am I behind? Because sometimes you say, like you just said, you forget that you're like, that's not what I want to do anymore. But then you be thinking like, am I behind in certain things? Like,
but I also think in that same token, the reverse of it, I feel that I've noticed some people that they just completely abandoned who they were back in 2020 and now are a completely different person.
Right.
You know, like they just like changed everything. And it's like, whoa, where they live. Think about it. People just uprooted from, let's say, New York.
A lot of left New York.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of people migrated out of New York. It was like a big migration going on at the same time.
Right.
You know, it's like New York was being left empty.
Yeah, it was a time for reevaluation. You know, we've said this before too. We reset, we reevaluate. Nature reset us. So your goals have to change, because obviously the way things are being done now is different.
Oh yeah.
You know, the pathway to be a screenwriter is different. The pathway to be a singer-songwriter is different.
Yeah.
You know, the way we do acting is different now.
Yeah.
You know, so we have to reset. We have to. So you're right on time. We're right on time.
I love that. We're right on time.
We're right on time.
I love that.
Yeah.
We really are.
Some people might think, you know, that's a good statement. We're right on time. You know, some people feel that that's it. There's no more. Their life is over after a pandemic, and it's probably just beginning.
It is
probably where you work.
Definitely.
Especially like people who lost their businesses. Okay, so you start again. You start somewhere else. You know, and make something new. You have to. You're forced to.
You have to.
And you don't know if something better is going to come out of it. Something better may happen.
Do either of you feel that your life is better now than pre-pandemic?
I do.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I am way more healed in so many things, because there's a lot of things that I couldn't even touch because I was in the hustle, and I will always put in a box, family stuff, put in a box, love life, put in a box.
Right.
You know, all these things in a box. And when the pandemic happened, it just really was like, oh, I have plenty of time to take care of this stuff on my own pace.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly it. Everybody who's watching, let us know. Is your life different? Is it better or worse? Type in the chat box. Let us know.
Yeah.
We want to know.
And I noticed like I healed from so many things that I thought like I never would heal from. I mean, don't get me wrong, but the healing was long. It was like hurtful. It was a lot of things, but it was so nice to do it at my own pace.
You had that space, that time.
Nothing's worse when you're trying to heal and you got to go to work. Then you got to be around people. And then it was just nice to be like, if I had something that triggered me, I can just go watch a movie or just be by to myself. You know what I mean? It was just really nice. It was like a nice retreat for myself.
Yeah. For me, and I definitely hear you, which is true. You know, it was easier, like if you were going through something that you had the time without all the noise, outside noise, whatever that might be, to prevent you from actually taking the time to do that. For me, I think that one of the most powerful things that I learned was the power of no.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah, wow. Because it's like prior to that, it was, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Okay, sure, yes, sure. And even if I couldn't, or if I didn't want to, I still went ahead, you know, and did certain things. And whether it was work, whether it was personal, whether it was, you know, even, I don't want to talk right now, but I'm like, okay, I'll talk on the phone right now. I just don't feel like talking on the phone right now, you know, like, And then now I'm more like, no. And it felt strange. It's almost like you have to teach yourself. If you're not a no person, if you're a yes person, to teach yourself to be a no person, not in a negative way, but in a way that empowers you and says, no, take your power back, you know, like, no. And then I've been using that, you know, when need be. And it still feels strange, but I still feel empowered. I'm like, yes, I said no. You know?
Yeah.
Yes, I said no. And I'm okay with the no that I gave. And
no, if y'all like lose friends or anything, or lovers or anything, or even pieces of yourself that you're like, people, even if you didn't lose friends, that people like, they couldn't be your friend anymore, like on the vice versa end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you know what I discovered throughout this time too, that I grew out of some people. And growing out of some people, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you're both walking different paths. Whatever the journey was that you had together, now that's it. Not that I'm going to hate you, not that I'm not going to talk to you, but I'm not going to be around you as much anymore. Your energy is not going to be really in my space anymore. You know, I'm setting you free, go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take your wings, fly away, shoo, shoo, you know? So it's like a lot of things, I discovered a lot of things about me that either I was scared to say, I can do that, or I don't like that about me, or, you know, whatever. I faced myself in the mirror, the man in the mirror, like Michael Jackson says, right?
Yeah.
I faced that, you know, and I said, okay, but the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever the heck in between, this is who I am. Now, what is that you want to take out? What is it you want to stay with? Who cares what anybody else says? Because it's not anybody else, it's you, you know? So I learned to have more self-love, I would say.
That's interesting, because I think all of this stems from what we're talking about. It's from taking a break. We actually had time to take a break from the normal routine of our job during the pandemic, do some self-reflection, like you said, learn about ourselves, make decisions, change the course of our path and trajectory. And that's what this was. We had a break. So now we're sort of going back into the work world and, you know, the grind. And so now we're ready for another break, to be honest.
I mean, you know? I don't need a long break. Like I said, I don't need a long break year. And also I will say this, because of 2021, that went by like a blur. I don't even know what the hell.
Oh my God, didn't it?
I don't even know.
I can't tell you
what I learned. I don't know what I did, because I was like, 2021 didn't make any sense. Like,
oh my God, I so agree with. I don't know what that. Me neither. If you tell me, hey Liz, what you do? I'm like,
yeah, I don't remember 2021. I feel like 2022 is like a better year for me. Of like, coming to 2021. I mean, like, did I even work? I don't remember. I don't. I think we were still kind of on lockdown in a way. I don't remember what I was doing.
2020, like when the whole thing happened, it was almost like chaos. Like chaos broke out, ensued, and then it just kind of like slowed down, and you know, then it just was like a blur for a while.
I felt like we were all like 20, like you said, 2020 happened. It was like the war exploded on Earth. And then 2021 was like, we are all walking in the desert.
Yep. Like everybody was in limbo.
Everybody was in limbo, all walking together. Like, what are we doing? You know, some people still died off. And the few that remained are now walking into 2020.
It was like post-apocalyptic. It was like we went through an apocalypse, and then we were just all walking around. Yeah.
I really was like,
yep,
so confused. I'm like, what's happening?
Right.
Because it made me not want to do anything. I was like, I'm just so confused. Of like, what do you want me to do?
Right. Me too.
Like,
me too.
I feel like
I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm staying home.
Yeah. No.
I'm good.
Even work 2021. I was just like, no, we're not doing this. Like, I told myself we're opting out of this craziness. Like, we're not.
No. It's like, hey, Liz, do you want to do that? No, it's okay. I don't. You sure? Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Nobody else wants to. So what would make you think that I would want to?
Right.
Yeah, and it's so weird where it's like you really didn't have the energy to do things. You're just like, what?
Because 2020 drained us so much.
It really did.
That really 21 was like a recoup of sorts.
Yeah.
And 22 is like, okay, I'm ready. I'm feeling a little bit more energy. Let's do this. You know?
Now, how has 2022 been for you guys? Has it been like much better? Like it's like, okay, now I'm getting into the groove. I feel like I'm getting back to some type of normalcy. Or is it like I'm still like fucked?
For me, it is. I didn't stop working, the whole time. So I'm like all the way through. I kept working, and now, like I said, going out last night, I felt a little weird, but now you're starting to get back into the groove, hanging out, socializing. Tonight, I have to go to another event, and I'm not sure what the protocol is there. If you got to have your vaccine, or, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm starting to feel the groove again. I'm back. I got back on the train for the first time in a long time. I was okay.
What?
Yeah, so I had to take the train to the city yesterday, to the Lower East Side.
How did it feel?
Tonight I'm going up to Harlem.
So you haven't been taking the train at all?
No, because I've been in Brooklyn. I mean, I've taken it maybe once or twice, but.
So how did it feel?
Wow.
Yeah.
You are so blessed.
Yeah.
So blessed.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I
feel like it feels good. It feels good. It feels normal.
Well, I went to my
good for me.
second rooftop party. And it was, girl, it felt like old New York again. It really felt like old New York.
Don't you love rooftop parties?
Oh,
I love
the bomb. Because we went to the one in Midtown. Beautiful. Magic Hour on Midtown was so beautiful.
Oh wow.
It was really nice. The music was good. Everyone was friendly. People were like, you could tell everyone was just happy to be out. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell everyone was really happy to be out. And I felt really good to be out. Like, it was really nice.
Man,
what about you?
That we need human connection.
Definitely.
Yeah, we do.
I never really realized that until it got to 2021. No, when it got to 2020, like late in the winter, I was like, man, like, I really miss I really need physical touch. I remember there was like at least a week. I never felt this way throughout all 2020 until the fall came. I was really doing bad mentally where I was like, I really need physical touch. It didn't mean like sex or anything.
No,
I just meant I needed I really needed a hug. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I needed like physical touch. One of my friends, we had a fuss about it because they just thought it was just like, oh, you don't need that. And I'm just like, no, I really need like physical touch. Like it's not nothing to do with, you know what I mean? And I mean, this person, but I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. Like I'm a human being. And I think what 2020 made me realize was my needs and desires and my feelings count. Because I never noticed, like, I was like, maybe this person's been talking like this all the time to me. You know what I mean? Or you know how your friends, like when you talk about things, they try to be like, no, you're fine. You need to get over it. Like, and I started like, no, I don't. My feelings are validated. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not a machine.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, I'll tell you something.
A lot about myself.
That question, to answer that question, I still think I'm going through some sort of like PTSD, like you had mentioned before, Marcos, with this whole thing that we're all collectively going through some sort of PTSD regarding that. And like you, Ashley, I feel the same way, where I completely detached myself from anyone even touching me in any way, shape, or form. Nope, you touch me, I'm gonna get something, you know? And now yesterday, somebody held my hand, right? Went to hold my hand, and I literally jumped. But I know this person, and we were talking, and they just like grabbed my hand to say something like blah blah. I'm like, I went like that, you know, and they're like, "Whoa, what happened?"
We act like we're from prison, like we just got out of prison. We just
and it felt so strange. It felt so weird to feel like contact, because I haven't like done that. It felt so weird to just feel someone else just like grab my hand. I was like, oh, you know, and they were like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I don't know." I literally went like that. I said, "I don't know." You know. And
for me, I love it even more, because I used to be a person like, I'm not really a hugger. Now I'm like, I love holding hands. I love smelling. I really like, I don't take none of that stuff for granted anymore. I really
hit something right on the nose. I'm piggybacking off of what you said. Before I say it, everyone, this is super interesting. Please let us know what you feel about this. Are you going through some form of PTSD? Is any kind of human contact, touch, or anything like that make you feel uncomfortable? Have you reacted in a jumpy or negative way? And now piggybacking off of what you said, Ashley, and what did you say? Because I just lost it. What was the last thing you said?
I was saying that I don't take that for granted anymore. That's what I was saying. Like now, like I love holding hands. I love smelling someone. I love holding somebody. I love hugs. Like now,
that's what I was gonna say. You know, this is the thing. Whatever we took for granted before with each other as a human race, where we just like discarded, I don't want to touch you. Even before then, no, don't touch me, don't help me. You know, now we crave for it. You see, and so all that. What I'm trying to say with this is, love on each other, appreciate each other.
Right.
You know. If you can see a friend, see the friend. If you could talk to someone, talk to someone. If you want to go out, have the experience, because the experience could be just taken away in a matter of seconds. Because you know what I mean?
Absolutely right. And I think, I'm sorry, Liz, I don't want to cut you off, but I think you hit the nail right on the head. And I think this is what we need to leave with, is that love is important.
Yes.
We need to see our friends. We lost so many people along the way. Imagine in the last 3 years, how many people this earth has lost due to COVID and other things. Now the war. We need to make memories. We need to connect with human people.
Right.
Feelings, love. That's what's important.
I know I'm going out for the summer. I'm gonna be out.
That's right. That's right.
I gotta take a trip. Listen, I deserve it. It's been since 2011.
Right. I have 2 trips planned: Mexico and Greece.
There you go. See,
Greece,
everybody, let us know where you're gonna go for your vacation. How are you gonna connect with people? How are you gonna make memories? Please write in the chat box. Leave us a comment down below. Make sure you ring the bell on top. We got more episodes coming. We're Tuesday and Thursday on the video chats. Audio podcast is available at midnight the night before. Check us out. Go to anchor.fm/OneMicNite Talk. Check us out. That's our podcast page, and show us some love there. I'm Marcos Luis. You can find me. Slide into the DMs, like Ashley says, at Marcos Luis, MarcosLuis. I'll be posting on Instagram my upcoming shows. I have a new film out. I'll be traveling with that. Ooh, Ashley, tell them how we can reach you.
Just reach me at Ashley Elizabeth Green on the IG. Send me DMs. Send me funny reels, because some people have to send me funny reels. I love it, love it, love it. Send me what you would like to talk about for like hot topics, things like that. That would be amazing.
Liz Menezes. I'll spell it out. LIZMENEZES. Music. Find me on all IGs. Download my music if you like it. Comment on our video. Let us know you like what we're bringing to you. Send me messages, like them too. I receive messages.
That's
Slide
right.
into my DM. Send me a message. Let me know what you would like us to talk about. I will respond. And yes, it will be me responding.
That's right. And don't ask her where she lives, because she won't tell you that.
Negative.
That's right.
The power of no.
You guys follow the show at OneMicNite. OneMicNite is spelled OneMicNite. Join the Facebook community at OneMicNite. Post your shows, post everything on the OneMicNite page if you like. And also, I'm going to say this, I'm going to plug this because Liz is so humble. Please make sure you go to Liz's music page and check out her music, download her music. She's the #1 selling artist. If you like Bossa Nova, please check her out. Incredible.
Thank you so much, Marcos. Thank you. I mean, you have the three of us, I think that there's a lot of humbleness here in the group. And, guys, we do this because we love it. We do it because we want to reach out to you. And one thing I have to say is share the show.
Definitely share the episodes. Please, we need your help. Thank you for joining us for this episode of OneMicNite Talk.
Los quiero, ciao.
We love you. We love you.